enough, but there's never enough of Cardi B. I'm gonna answer some questions. It seems that's really in right now if you've been on Instagram. That's not why we're doing this. We had the idea first. Okay, so welcome to my home. This is what my friend Miriam calls a millennial staple art piece. And that, yeah, it's in a few people's homes. We all got it at the Women's March. It makes sense. All right, let's start this shit. So I've never seen these questions before this very moment. I'll try to answer them as organically and, of the moment as possible. Juicy Q's, oops, I did 17, I did 19. We're overachievers, it's what we do. All right, number one, what's an opportunity you regret not taking advantage of? Everyone, you know what I mean? I feel like because I'm an insomniac, but also just because I think all day, it's what I do. I don't know, it's one of those things that comes up a lot, unfortunately, that just like, I regret that I didn't, tell that girl I liked her shoes, because why not? Or, why didn't I join more clubs in college? That's one that comes up a lot. I wish I'd gotten more involved in college. I kind of was just like, oh, I'm here, because I'm smart, we're all smart, I'll just, stay in my room and study, but really like watch Netflix. And who does that help other than Netflix? And me, because I've seen a lot of TV. Okay, what impact, if any, did having your first love did having your first love be gay on you? Okay, so my first love was gay. What impact did it have on me? That's interesting. I think in the immediate sort of aftermath, I was sort of that betrayed sense, but not in like oh my god, you lied to me, just like I was disappointed that there was sides that he didn't want to show me. I don't know, because I don't know, maybe he's not gay too, maybe he's bi, and maybe he wasn't lying essentially to me. I think it's a bummer, yeah, that he didn't feel like he could tell me that if that was his truth at the time. And I think I really hesitate to make, I need to clean off my glasses. I really hesitate to make these things about me too, because I think in the movie Lady Bird, sorry, spoiler alert, one of the guys she dates early in the movie turns out to be gay. And she could have used that, kind of plot device or story to make it a tragic thing for Lady Bird, that it was, oh, this happened to me, I can't, and I thought the movie did a really good job of seeing it as his pain and something that he felt like he had to hide, because of, I don't know, it was the early 2000s in Sacramento, and because general society is homophobic. So I think there's a tendency to be like, oh my god, look at me and how my life is an episode of Girls, which sometimes it is, but I want to, throw out there that it's not my story to tell either. Getting deep already, I love it. Okay, if you could change one thing about your life, what would it be? Where to start? No, I'm just kidding. The easiest answer really that comes to me right now, and maybe it's not easy, but is just confidence. I think in this life, in this American society, if you don't have money, you act like you do, and sometimes it surprisingly, works. And if you don't have money, or other way around, if you don't have confidence, money is just really the way out of anything, is it not? I'm like learning how to use video. You see this weird vein on my head? That's the one thing I would change about my is my weird vein. No, I think like I never saw this movie, but I understand the premise is that I Feel Pretty movie starring Amy Schumer, who she like hits her head on a spin bike and gains confidence, because that would be amazing if that's how that worked. And is suddenly like, I'm the hottest, best thing in the world, and her life just inevitably in all sectors gets better, because that's generally how life is. And so when people are like, just be confident, I'm like, yeah, We're all trying. Okay, so that's that. Just blind confidence would be cool. Just never second guess yourself. What's one thing you wish people knew about you but you're too nervous to share? Well, if I'm too nervous to share it, I probably won't on the internet. But it's that I'm wearing a wig. No, I think I'm gonna pass. This is so boring. I'll cut this out. I'm gonna cut this like a YouTube star. Quick. Very of the moment. We said 10, right? I think we said 10 of the original. We were gonna go for 15. We have to answer 10 of them. You wrote 17. I'll try to answer 4. Fucking deal with it. If you were to write a letter to one person detailing exactly the way you feel about them, who would you write it to? Okay, mine are like probably not as deep as yours, and I'm sorry. I should have gone harder. The first thing that comes to mind is my parents. That would just be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and also thank you. Just cause like there's no way to say that isn't cheesy and sounds insincere. I feel like a letter, maybe a written out letter, would be a good way to do that. Cause you know, you just think of all these times that like, you like are a fucking bitch for no reason as a, you know, child. I was a bitchy child, I can say that. About myself, you can't. But, and just like, all that while my mom was like breaking her back to try and make me happy, and I was just like, nah, and stuff like that. I'm like, maybe there's a letter that would be 300 pages long that could like somehow make up for all that bullshit. I'm swearing a lot, I'm sorry. I see for work. Okay, I like this one. First thing you would buy for yourself if money was no object. Lambo. I'm totally kidding. I wouldn't even understand how to buy a car. But this is so lame. I have deep shame in my soul about the fact that I don't have a skincare regimen, whatever that is. I'm like, I put water on my face. And when I remember, I put moisturizer, SPF, the basics. But there would have to be like, I would just dive deep into like all those skincare, you know, La Mer, like stupid expensive lines of whatever creams that could somehow like reverse the damage of the last 10 years of me not giving a shit. I got a facial and the woman was like, you need to take better care of your skin. She was deeply disappointed. In what area of life do you wish you had more confidence? Oh, that's funny how these circle back around. All of them. Area of life. I feel like in meeting friends. Like I don't care about boys, you know, they come and go. I'm just kidding. They, whatever, boys are kind of silly. In work, I don't know, I'm confident enough, but I always assume that everyone I'm with hates me. Sorry about that. And then I think I sometimes try too hard to be funny, to be, whatever, nice, I guess. I'm like so fucking nice. No, and then I'm like, oh no, they think I'm trying too hard and it's all fake. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would do better if I was like, who fucking cares? Not everyone's gonna like me. It's not how life works. Let's move on. So just that. Okay, in what area of life do you wish you had known? I just read that one. I'm so fucking stupid. Name the movie that you can recite word for word in your sleep. Mean Girls. That is a go-to. I've seen that movie so many times. It's probably in the hundreds, and I could never get. I'm not sick of it now. I don't think I ever could be. I will watch any scene. Okay. And also The Notebook. Maybe not word for word, but the summer we shared beneath the stars. that, yeah, the letter that he writes. Apparently I'm really into Rachel McAdams. It was a time. Yeah, the letter that Noah writes to Allie in, because I used to watch that movie. I wouldn't watch the old people part because sad. I would just stop it right when, you know, she runs back into his arms when they're both still young and hot, and then just start the movie over from the beginning and do it all again. Who am I? I could have spent that time doing much better. Okay. Do you currently owe anyone an apology? Probably. Everyone hates me. No, I'm sure that I do, and this is what keeps me up at night, is not knowing who it is for. So whoever you are that needs this apology, I'm fucking so sorry. I didn't know. But this is what also plagues me, is that plagues me. I think that me and other women say sorry too much, and not just women, but you know, it's a thing, you get it. And so, sorry, I just have a question. You don't need to be sorry because you have a question. I do it all the time, and I think it's fucking silly. I think you should apologize when you did something wrong. And other than that, hear my cats. I'm so sorry. That's the apology that I owe, is for the cats. Name the invention that would most drastically impact your life. I was gonna ask you a similar one. I think I took it out. We are like the same person. Okay. I have been psychotically obsessed with self-driving cars. I think they're incredible, but they have already killed a woman. But the driver in the car was watching, he was not paying attention. He was supposed to be there to monitor the car. He was, I think, watching a television program. This is also my problem, because the whole point of a self-driving car is that I can watch my television programs instead of fucking screaming both inside and out at the process of driving in Los Angeles. Like, getting in my car after work is like going into battle with 75 other pieces of just big death machines. Most of them are bigger than Mr. Bingley, my vehicle. Name that reference. Name the invention. Yeah. Self-driving car, I just don't want them to kill people. I'm worried about that. We're losing the light. We're losing the light. Speed it up. I'm almost done. Okay. Which of your friends and family members would make the best POTUS, and why? President. The bar is low, historically speaking, and also currently, but we're not mad. I mean, we are, but I mean, the first person that came to mind was my dad. He is the guy who was like planning organization meetings, like, for the young Republicans. Sorry to out you, but like back when Republicans were like, you know, Nixon. I'm kidding. You know, Reagan. Sure. And so he actually talked about that. Was like, everyone running for office now is a crazy person. This was back in the Tea Party era of, you know, the Obama administration. And he was like, I should run for office. I'll run for office. And everyone was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And the thing is, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I think the process of running for office and campaigning and selling your soul to whatever, DC, is not something I would want my father or anyone I know personally to go through, because it just seems gross. But he would make a great president. He really would. He is a lawyer. He understands the other side because he comes from it. I'm kidding, but and then he also understands that it's not about sides. It shouldn't be, and he has fucking empathy. So that's a word that some presidents have never heard of. Okay, yeah. It's so dark in here. I tried to do it with the light, the golden hour, but I failed. Backlit. Okay, I'll answer 2 more questions. What's the one thing you do better than most people you know? Okay, this is the thing I read about online of people from the Midwest often grow up with family members, often mothers, often of the female variety, that don't say things with their words the way maybe a stereotypical Jewish mother would. They instead say things with their tone of voice and the, for lack of a better word, vibes. A mother from the Midwest will say, "Oh, that's interesting." It's not interesting. She does not find it interesting, and she finds it weird and different in a bad way, and she wants you to shut the hell up about it. But people who did not grow up with that sort of vibe maybe wouldn't notice. And of the ability of people who grew up in these environments to read the fucking room. And I'm not saying all the time, because sometimes I'm an oblivious motherfucker. If I'm really focused on a conversation or whatever, I will not notice anything around me. That's true. But when I'm looking for it, when I'm aware, when I'm whatever, open to the universe, it is impossible for me not to see. So, not all the time, but a lot of the time I feel like I can read the vibes. Okay. Biggest pet peeve about your family. Oh, this is a 3-part question. Family, friends, and myself. Holy shit. My family is when, they probably already know this, when I wake up from from sleeping, as one does, and it is often a few hours, if not several hours, after most of the rest of the family has arisen. They will make a big fucking deal about it. And all I want is just to go downstairs and be invisible and eat cereal and not talk to anyone for at least an hour, you know, because it's like 11 a.m. These guys will just, "Oh, hi, look who's up, how did you sleep? Did you go to bed super late?" Yes, I did. That's why I'm up super late. Let's talk about it every day that I'm here. All right. Y'all know. My biggest pet peeve in friendships in general is flakiness, which is very hypocritical. I'm kind of flaky, I think. I don't know. I try not to be. But I've learned from like reading books and stuff that the thing that you hate about other people is often the thing that you hate about yourself. And so I get so mad about flakiness, and I think it's Jesus trying to tell me that you a flaky bitch too. Myself, probably that I'm flaky, and that I'm lazy. I'm very lazy. I love to watch TV. I think it's the best thing in the world. It always sounds better than anything else. It always does. Oh my god, ew, I had to turn on the lights. It got dark, you guys. Spiritually and physically. Of course, I think I could have left out more, but they were so fun. They were so fun. Should I do it this way? Am I more pretty this way? You guys, you are living in the moment right now with me. Of me trying to look better. To look better. Is it obvious that I put on lipstick just for this? But pet peeves, we did that. What's a telltale sign that you have a crush on someone? And that I don't speak to them literally at all. Like if I'm in a group of people and I think that boy is cute, I will talk to anyone else and hope that he overhears me and thinks that I'm so cool and funny that he just has to talk to me first. I will do anything to avoid being the person who talks to that person. What's the most heartbreaking thing about adulthood? That I can't eat whatever I want whenever I want. And not because I'm like, oh, I'll be fat. No, my body is just like, we reject this now. Things that it used to be fine with, like milk and any type of dairy. I used to eat, me and my BFF Tori would go to the grocery store and each get a pint of ice cream and then sit in the field and just eat that pint, one to ourselves. Now if I did that, I would spend the rest of the day on the toilet. Sorry for that information. And That's not the most disappointing, like, that can't be the most disappointing thing. I think it's that I didn't realize how scary it would be. That sounds bad. That sounds scary. I'm just really scared of things. I think you think when you're a kid that like life will be easier when you're an adult just because you're an adult. Like you'll have, and I'm like still waiting for that brain to set in. I'm like, oh, you have to work towards becoming that type of person. Like everything, yeah. I think I'm scared of like, I'm scared of dealing with things that I don't know what they are yet, because as it turns out, life just throws things at you. And I haven't even dealt with, my life has been pretty great so far. Pretty charmed, pretty lucky. So, but that's why I'm more worried, because I'm worried that I'm not equipped to handle life's pain. Oof. Well, that's the question you wanted to end on. I feel like I should end on a more positive note. I love these pants and they were $8. I can't believe you didn't ask me about my clothes. Okay, so this has been so fun. I love talking about myself. No, I saw that Instagram, thing. I was like, asking you a question. I'm like, I would literally never do this. Who would care? And now I'm making a fucking video of essentially the same thing. I hope you liked it. Subscribe below. I never want to be a YouTube star. Those people are scary. Alright, bye!